Hello, I'm Steven, the Teen Services Coordinator with the Denham Springs-Walker Branch Library. Welcome back to another STEAM Saturdays with Steven. Before we get started, let's go over our rules. Rule number 1, always get the permission of the supervision of an adult before you get started. Rule number 2, follow the instructions I've presented exactly as possible. Rule number 3, always make sure you are wearing protection such as gloves or safety goggles when you need them. Rule number 4, never eat anything we do unless I tell you it's safe to do so. Luckily for you, today it is safe to do so. We are going to be making slushies. A slushie is a dense ice-cold beverage that resembles the thickness of melting snow. Slushies can be made in 2 ways. You can flavor finely crushed ice, or you can alter the freezing process of flavored water so that loose, icy crystals form. Shaking the liquid while keeping it at the freezing point does just that. The freezing point of a substance is the temperature at which that substance changes from a liquid to a solid. For pure water, this is 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. And at this temperature, water particles start to stick together and form a lattice or crystalline-like structure that we call ice. Dissolving salt in pure water will lower its freezing point. This happens because the salt particles are in the way, making it harder for the water particles to stick together and turn into that lattice we talked about. This phenomenon is called freezing point depression. In general, the more particles that are floating around in a mixed volume of water, the lower its freezing point. What you'll need to do this from home is 2 large containers. If you have like a smoothie shaker, that would work out perfect. I do not have a smoothie shaker, if you cannot tell. I have large soup containers from, a Chinese takeout place. You will need some sandwich Ziploc baggies. You'll need some measuring cups in the form of, I have a half a teaspoon and a half a cup. You will need some table salt, and you will need some juice, your favorite juice. I like apple juice, so that's what I got. So, in your sandwich baggies, you will want to measure out half a cup of water. That wasn't quite half a cup. Get half a cup of water and 1 teaspoon of salt. So let's measure that out. Boop. You want to dissolve that all in there and add a bit of food coloring to make sure we don't have any leaks later. It'll just be easier to find a leak if there is a leak, if it's colored. Let's give that a little shake. Make sure all the salt has dissolved. This might take a little while. My water was cold. If you use warm water, this will be easier. And then this is where this video is only slightly misleading. It will take about 5 to 20 hours to freeze this, depending on how good your freezing device is and how much salt you put in your baggie. Luckily for me, I have already frozen up 4 of these baggies overnight. Let me grab those. Okay, so we will take our frozen bags of saltwater solution from the freezer. You want to use gloves or paper towel because these are a bit colder than regular ice, just so you don't want to, super freeze off your hands. So in this container, I have 1 cup of water, and in this container, I will put 1 cup of, you can use any juice. I chose apple juice because I want to try and make an apple juice slushie. Boop. Finished. Put that lid back on. So we'll put your 2 colored Ziploc baggies in here. Hopefully they will fit in your container. Oh, mine's not gonna fit in my container. Close the lid tightly. Same with this one. Close your lid tightly. Once everything is sealed, you want to pick them up and shake them for about 20 seconds. That one's leaking. Check it and make sure that your ice has not leaked out. That's why we colored our ice. If we have any color to our water, okay, we're good. Do I have any color to my apple juice? You know what, I can't tell because it's apple juice. So now you just shake these for 2 to 5 minutes. Ready, go. Oh. Would you like to shake one, Rita? Okay. I can put my mask on so we can shake together. Should I put a timer?
Sure. Or else we'll be.
Clock, timer. Let's start with 3 minutes. And go. What you did today, Dana? Oh, my mask keeps on coming off. Is it still in?
It feels like it's still in a little
See,
bit.
but yours is slushy.
Oh, I see. How many more minutes? Oh my god.
It hasn't even been a minute. But mine is pretty slushy. You want to check it? Ooh, mine's pretty slushy.
Oh yeah. Oh, mine's leaking out. Or wait.
No?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Ah! Okay, well, if you will notice, you guys, I made, oh, mine's leaking out too.
Yeah. And we have.
You don't want to eat it if your salt water has melted. But, because you don't want to eat salt water, but do I? Sure. I just have a plain ice smoothie. It's delicious. How's your apple juice smoothie?
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good?
It tastes kind of like applesauce, actually.
Cold applesauce. All right, well, again, if too much of your salt water has leaked into your containers, you do not want to drink it. Just prepare your salt water packets again. There's a possibility that the juice never turned into slushy. If your juice did not freeze, you can refreeze the Ziploc baggies and just add a little bit more salt to your solution and start the whole process over. If you had no leaks, you can eat your slushy like we did. You can pour out your slushy into a glass instead of making a huge mess. So what happened here? Pure water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Dissolving particles in water makes it freeze at a lower temperature. That's why when our saltwater solution we made in this activity felt so cold when we took it out of the freezer. While making the slushy, the saltwater solution absorbed the heat from the liquids in our containers, our water and our, I forgot what it was, apple juice. This process melted the saltwater ice and it cooled down the liquids we had in our container. The fruit juice, since fruit juice is made up of fruit sugars dissolved in water together with some other particles like vitamins and minerals and whatnot, some fruit juices you use may take longer to turn into slushy, or it may not slush at all if it has too much particles in it than your salt solution. So if your juice isn't freezing, grab a different juice or just keep playing around with the ratio of water to salt in your frozen salt packets before you start. Well, that is all I have for you today. Join me next time on STEAM Saturdays.